Or nerve, obviously, sometimes. Yeah, time to time. Yeah, yeah, and it is frustrating. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, all right. Gonna do a video. Here goes. Okay, hello, everyone. Yeah, I thought I'd just do another little video while I'm sort of in the mood. I enjoyed the last video I did, so I thought I'd do another one. Probably don't need to, but and people say, well, what you know, well, I'm doing this because I'm interested and I want to do it. All right. Just one particular little idea I've been toying with for a little while is me air breathing engines. Have you seen that? Look at that. Air breathing engines, you can convert the oxygen and hydrogen in the air into fuel on the fly, and they could also convert the carbon in the air and clean the atmosphere. I think there's something playing in the background. I'm not so sure if I've been sufficiently nobbled, dude, so that I'm the equivalent of under about 100 ton of fucking concrete. Well, that's what it feels like. I mean, it feels like I'm free, but it's like what to do? What? Just sit here and enjoy it? Great. Peace and quiet. Last. Oh, God. Normality. Okay, now a little idea I was toying with, thinking about, was it was in response to something I observed on the internet. Was it really? Yes, it was. Surprisingly enough, was it? Yeah. On the it was on the internet. Yeah. No, because it could have been in print or something, couldn't it? But it was on the internet, and it was talking about it was about an article about they've observed an Earth-like Earth 12 light years away. Right. Where is it? Something like that. Okay. And I started to think, oh, that's great. Of course, there wouldn't be any intelligent human life on the planet. Because they're only 12 light years away, and they would have been able to receive a television or radio broadcast, and could easily send a light signal, a radio signal to Earth. They're only 12 light years away. So anyway, I started thinking to myself and thought, well, how could we determine if there was bacterial life on that planet? If it's an Earth-sized planet. And then I started thinking about sending a micro rocket that could accelerate to close the speed of light and collect samples and either return them to Earth, or, and this is really what I decided to do, was to send a signal, a radio signal, back to Earth that would be able to determine show the existence, detection of the particular bacteria in question. Now I was thinking we could accelerate electrons close to the speed of light, right? So I was thinking, how about shooting a stream of millions and trillions of them at a target that could relay the data between the target planet and Earth, right? So we're talking about micro robots, molecular robots, that we could shoot with a laser directed towards the planet, and the molecular robots could be sufficiently small in mass that we could accelerate them close to the speed of light. Okay. We could use the Earth's orbit to be able to help with the directing, you know, the precision pointing of the actual direction of the robots themselves. And these little robots could be the size of molecules, okay? And we could, basically what we could do is we could shoot these robots at nearly the speed of light, 12 light years away. And which is actually 7.054 times 10 to the 13 miles away, so it's a long way away. If we could do it, we would create what we could call a long-range scanner, although not really realistically. I mean, the proper one would use photons or something like that, and then the actual molecules would then be able to interact with the any bacteria in the atmosphere, and then send a radio signal back through the actual stream of light that contains the molecular robots in them, and the light beam could be relayed through the stream of robots, molecular robots, to Earth, where Earth could detect the signal. We'd have to have a distributed molecular arrangement that distributes the weight over a short distance, making it possible to accelerate the group of atoms to near the speed of light. We're creating an electronic molecular circuit, a robot, an electronic molecular circuit. Oh, don't worry about it. I've been nobbled and slowed down, all sorts of stuff at the moment. So, if I'm not me, what you've just observed, and usual prep yourself, as I say. But you could have a grouping of atoms together that would constitute a robot, okay? And the front of the actual robot could be engineered so that it could sense the enzyme on the surface of a bacteria, and then what would happen is that as soon as it impacts the actual group, I'm trying to put it in words that you could understand, the group would be able to compute, some of the matter would be able to compute faster than light, so that when this thing, which is traveling near the speed of light, hits a bacteria, it's going to obliterate whatever is in its way, right? So the thing is going to have to compute faster than the speed of light, so it's going to have to really go quickly, and to send the signal, radio pulse, back through the beam. So basically what I was thinking of is, it's actually all on my Facebook, this. You'd have some, say, n sub-electron pattern recognition area within the front of the molecular arrangement. It would sense the molecules on the surface of the bacteria, and then it would cascade a signal to the other molecules en route, and the molecular robots then send a photonic or phototonic signal behind it to relate it to the other molecule robots en route, as I've said. So let's see, you could visualize the process of the molecule crashing into the bacteria at near or greater than the speed of light, depending on the light used or how we're able to manufacture the atoms. But generally speaking, for now it would be the speed of light, or just under. And what would happen is that we could, I've actually forgotten how to do this, so I'm just having to remember the process. So we'd have we'd have a sub-electron pattern recognition area, and that, as I say, as soon as that has impacted on and recognized the enzymes on the surface of a bacteria, it would then create a cascade sequence through the little molecular robot that would then send a radio signal back forward through all the towards Earth, right through the actual beam, the light beam that's shone through. Because of course, what would happen? The reason why I was thinking along these terms, you'd need a sort of sub-electron sort of grouping, was because when it's going to travel, it's traveling at nearly the speed of light. It's going to obliterate, as I say, the bacteria. It's traveling very, very fast. So you have to have some engineered type of matter that would be able to work faster than the speed at which it's working at. Otherwise, the electronic part of it wouldn't work, and you wouldn't be able to create a pulse. You'd only need to create a pulse of light, a pulse of electricity, radio frequency, you know, through the actual electron. See what I mean? You're screwing me up, dude. See? So I do know what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to remember. But because you impact my memory and you're making fun all the time and tweaking around with my brain, making it look like I don't understand or didn't come up with it, you're doing that to me all the time, and I've fucking had enough of it. So basically what we're doing is we're going to have to compute faster than light on the pattern recognition parts, the molecular markers on the bacteria on its surface, and that would then send a faster than light computational pattern recognition and radio pulse behind the molecular robot. And so we could send a stream of these molecular robots traveling near the speed of light towards the questioning planet, right, and like that. And some of these bacteria, some of the molecular robots would actually impact, and you know it's going to be statistical, isn't it? It's like it may actually come in contact with a molecule, with a bacteria in the atmosphere, let's say, or a virus even, or possibly some sort of. I appreciate that you could use the light to be able to identify certain molecules in the atmosphere, but if you wanted to actually, you know, detect a bacterium 12 light years away, this was a way of coming up with it, which is I came up with it a little while ago, just on the off. I've just, as I say, in response to that article there, you know. So I thought, how could we detect the bacteria in the atmosphere? So that's really the point. And so it's extremely complicated, very difficult to do, just doable with today's technology. I think if we're able to create some sub-electrons at the moment, and we could create yeah, I know they've fucked me up, dude, and they've slowed me down, but it doesn't matter. They're actually making an admission that it's coming from me anyway, by them doing that, by them saying, "Look, it's come from me," you know. So I thought that was really cool, the fact that we could have, you know, a molecular circuit, which is basically a robot with a detecting element at the front made of subelectrons and other type of matter that can compute faster than the speed of light. Because, as I say, when the little molecular robot hits the bacteria, right, it's got to compute and do its thing faster than the speed of light, because it's moving nearly at the speed of light, and so this thing is going to basically crumple and smash to pieces because it's traveling that fast. So basically it's pattern recognition, send the signal through the molecular circuit, and then send a radio frequency signal recognition signal behind it, just as it's moving forward into the bacterium and smashing to pieces. So if you can imagine like a car coming along and smashing into a wall, that's basically the analogy here. And so as soon as it touches the wall, you'd have faster than light matter that does the pattern recognition and sends that information through the circuit. The molecular circuit then does its computation, creates a radio pulse that's sent backwards through the beam of light that sent it. You see what I mean? So I thought that was a particularly good thing that I came up with, and it was kind of simple. So yeah, that was another little project really that people could. I think they're using the gays and the trannies to fuck me up at the moment, so fuck power up. Basically impacting me thinking ability, memory and stuff, you know. So I thought that was a really cool idea, you know. Yeah, but very often I can come up with ideas like that. Just something like looking at a news report from the media and just thinking, right, well, how, you know, how would I actually, you know, determine if there was actual bacteria in the atmosphere? And basically what I came up with could be viewed or could be used as a long-range scanner, but realistically only to 12 light years away. I mean, it's like, well, how would you go somewhere with today's technology, right? No, that's another visual. How would you sense something in the atmosphere of another planet, say 12 light years away? Right? Now don't forget, it's 12 light years away. So it's gonna take 12 years for the little molecular robots to get there, and then it's going to take another 12 years for the light signal or the radio signal to be sent to Earth. So as I say, you've got a 24-year send and respond. But that's something I could come up with right now that would enable man to actually do actual sensing of an atmosphere of a planet that far away. And furthermore, if we could determine that there was bacteria on the Earth-like planet 12 light years away, that would be a very, very important observation, not discovery, an observation that would prove that life does exist in other parts of the universe. Okay, and for the religious people, that is the very purpose of doing that. Yeah. Yeah, just to make the point. Well, I did tell you before, dude, that I did actually break the computer a little while ago, so I'm awfully sorry about that, but yeah. So as you can see, N sub electrons, pattern recognition area, and then you've got a molecular arrangement, right? And then the thing's travelling nearly at the speed of light, and then, as you say, it would crumple as it interacted with the bacteria, crumple, 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 and it's crumpling like that. It's computing and sending the information through the actual molecular arrangements, and then pew, sending out a radio signal behind it. And then that radio signal can be amplified as it comes in contact with other molecular robots that are being sent on the way to what it's sensing. Okay, so that was another great little idea I came up with. Thank you very much. Now I've been nobbled, dude, and slowed down and whatnot and everything, and yeah, it looks like they were just out to fuck me, dude. Aren't they lovely? I appreciate control and getting control of the situation. Yeah, fine. I appreciate getting control of the situation. But you see, I've got a job to do, and I've got a responsibility towards planet Earth. Well, spirits come and go all the time, dude, and so the military. So what? And so do I. Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what I wrote, actually. It says, as the impact happens, the subelectrons sense the molecules on the surface of the bacteria and send a cascade signal to the other molecules en route. The molecular robot then sends a photonic or a photosonic signal behind it to be relayed by the other molecular robots en route. You could visualize the process, the molecules crashing into the bacteria near or greater than the speeds of light, depending upon the light used and the size of the atoms used to make the molecular robot. Easy, how long to do? No, darling, it got it from me. Because I know you're an accumulator, and that's all you do is you copy and replicate and you accumulate knowledge. So why a copy and accumulator turns around and says, I came up with it, rather than just owning up and saying, I accumulate and I copy. I'm not the originator of the information, but I am. Oh, that's, yeah, because your mind is so fragile. Hey, I understand, dude. My mind's fragile as well. But yeah. Why should I stop it? I feel free at the moment. Feel more normal. But I think my thinking abilities are still as good. I got a little bit of, I could probably actually do some studying now. You know, actual thinking, proper thinking, studying. Yeah, rather than just being fucked up all the time. Well, I'm not in the business of appeasing society. That's your job. It's my job to create new knowledge, then it's your job to appease society. But I suppose I have to appease society as well. Yeah, well, it's all part of the construct, isn't it? So. Well, send your shit, man. At the moment, my YouTube live stream is just going round and around and around.